Welcome to Passion Travel. Explore world street food, captivating vlogs, and inspiring journeys with us. Subscribe to experience adventure in every video. Tiramisu, classic Italian dessert made with layers of coffee-soaked ladyfingers and mascarpone cream. Tiramisu recipe with ingredients and preparation steps. Ingredients: 6 large egg yolks, 3/4 cup granulated sugar, 1 cup mascarpone cheese, at room temperature, 1½ cups heavy cream, 1½ cup strong brewed coffee, cooled to room temperature, 2 tablespoons coffee liqueur, optional, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 24 to 30 ladyfinger cookies, Savoiardi, unsweetened cocoa powder, for dusting, dark chocolate shavings, for garnish, optional. Preparation: prepare the mascarpone mixture. In a large mixing bowl, whisk together the egg yolks and sugar until pale and creamy. Add the mascarpone cheese to the egg yolk mixture and beat until smooth and well combined. Set aside. Whip the cream. In another mixing bowl, whip the heavy cream until stiff peaks form. Combine mascarpone mixture and whipped cream. Gently fold the whipped cream into the mascarpone mixture until fully incorporated. Be careful not to deflate the whipped cream. Prepare the coffee mixture. In a shallow dish, combine the cooled brewed coffee and coffee liqueur, if using. Stir in the vanilla extract. Assemble the tiramisu. Quickly dip each ladyfinger cookie into the coffee mixture, ensuring they are soaked but not overly soggy. Arrange a layer of soaked ladyfingers in the bottom of a serving dish or individual serving glasses. Layer mascarpone mixture. Spread half of the mascarpone mixture over the layer of soaked ladyfingers, smoothing it out with a spatula. Repeat layers. Add another layer of soaked ladyfingers on top of the mascarpone mixture. Spread the remaining mascarpone mixture over the second layer of ladyfingers. Chill. Cover the dish or glasses with plastic wrap and refrigerate the tiramisu for at least 4 hours, or preferably overnight, to allow the flavors to meld and the dessert to set. Serve. Before serving, dust the top of the tiramisu with cocoa powder and garnish with dark chocolate shavings, if desired. Slice and serve chilled. Enjoy. Chestnut honey gelato, creamy gelato flavored with rich chestnut honey. Chestnut honey gelato. Ingredients: 2 cups whole milk, 1 cup heavy cream, ½ cup chestnut honey, 4 large egg yolks, ½ cup granulated sugar, pinch of salt, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. Instructions: prepare the base. In a saucepan, combine the whole milk, heavy cream, and chestnut honey. Heat the mixture over medium heat, stirring occasionally until it reaches a gentle simmer. Remove from heat. Whisk the egg yolks. In a separate bowl, whisk together the egg yolks, granulated sugar, and pinch of salt until the mixture is pale and slightly thickened. Temper the eggs. Slowly pour a small amount of the hot milk mixture into the bowl with the egg yolks, whisking constantly. This process, known as tempering, prevents the eggs from curdling. Combine the mixtures. Gradually pour the tempered egg mixture back into the saucepan with the remaining hot milk mixture, whisking constantly to combine. Cook the custard. Return the saucepan to the stove over medium-low heat. Cook the custard mixture, stirring constantly with a wooden spoon, until it thickens enough to coat the back of the spoon. Be careful not to let it boil. Strain the custard. Once the custard has thickened, remove it from the heat and strain it through a fine mesh sieve into a clean bowl, to remove any lumps. Chill the mixture. Stir in the vanilla extract. Cover the bowl with plastic wrap, pressing it directly onto the surface of the custard to prevent a skin from forming. Chill the mixture in the refrigerator for at least 4 hours, or preferably overnight, until thoroughly chilled. Churn the gelato. Once the custard is chilled, transfer it to an ice cream maker and churn according to the manufacturer's instructions until it reaches a soft, creamy consistency. Freeze. Transfer the churned gelato to a freezer-safe container. Cover the surface with parchment paper or plastic wrap to prevent ice crystals from forming, then cover with a lid. Freeze the gelato for at least 4 hours, or until firm. Serve. Scoop the chestnut honey gelato into bowls or cones and serve it as a delightful frozen treat, showcasing the unique flavors of chestnut honey. Enjoy. Pork ribs, sticky, grilled ribs, coated in a savory barbecue sauce. Pork ribs. Ingredients. 2 racks of pork ribs, about 4 to 5 pounds total. 1/4 cup brown sugar. 2 tablespoons paprika. 2 tablespoons garlic powder. 1 tablespoon onion powder. 1 tablespoon ground cumin. 1 tablespoon chili powder. 1 teaspoon cayenne pepper, adjust to taste for spiciness. Salt and black pepper, to taste. 1 cup barbecue sauce, homemade or store-bought. 2 tablespoons apple cider vinegar. 2 tablespoons Worcestershire sauce. 2 tablespoons honey. Instructions. Preheat the oven. Preheat your oven to 275 degrees Fahrenheit, 135 degrees Celsius. Line a baking sheet with aluminum foil or parchment paper for easy cleanup. Prepare the ribs. Remove the membrane from the back of the ribs by loosening it with a knife and pulling it off with a paper towel for better flavor penetration. Pat the ribs dry with paper towels. Make the dry rub. In a small bowl, mix together the brown sugar, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, chili powder, cayenne pepper, salt, and black pepper to create a dry rub. Season the ribs. Rub the dry rub mixture generously all over the ribs, covering them evenly on both sides. Slow cook the ribs. Place the seasoned ribs on the prepared baking sheet, meat side up. Cover the ribs tightly with aluminum foil. Bake the ribs in the preheated oven for 2.5 to 3 hours, or until the meat is tender and begins to pull away from the bones. Make the barbecue glaze. In a small saucepan, combine the barbecue sauce, apple cider vinegar, Worcestershire sauce, and honey. Heat the mixture over medium heat, stirring occasionally until heated through and well combined. Finish the ribs. Remove the foil from the ribs and brush them generously with the barbecue glaze. Increase the oven temperature to 400 degrees Fahrenheit 200 degrees Celsius and return the ribs to the oven, uncovered, for an additional 15 to 20 minutes, or until the glaze is caramelized and sticky. Serve. Once the ribs are finished cooking, transfer them to a cutting board and let them rest for a few minutes before slicing them into individual ribs. Serve the pork ribs hot, with extra barbecue sauce on the side if desired. Burrata Bruschetta, grilled bread topped with creamy burrata cheese and tomatoes. Burrata Bruschetta. Ingredients. 1 large baguette or Italian bread loaf, sliced into 1/2 inch thick slices. 2 tablespoons olive oil. 2 cloves garlic, peeled and halved. 2 ripe tomatoes, diced. 1/4 cup fresh basil leaves, thinly sliced. Salt and pepper, to taste. 1 ball of burrata cheese. Balsamic glaze, for drizzling, optional. Instructions. Preheat the grill or oven. Preheat your grill or oven to medium-high heat. Prepare the bread. Brush both sides of each bread slice with olive oil. Rub one side of each bread slice with the cut side of the garlic cloves. Grill or toast the bread. If using a grill, place the bread slices directly on the grill grates and grill for 1 to 2 minutes per side, until lightly toasted and grill marks appear. If using an oven, arrange the bread slices in a single layer on a baking sheet and bake in the preheated oven for 5 to 7 minutes, or until lightly toasted. Prepare the tomato basil topping. In a mixing bowl, combine the diced tomatoes and sliced basil leaves. Season with salt and pepper to taste. Toss gently to combine. Assemble the bruschetta. Place the toasted bread slices on a serving platter. Spoon the tomato basil mixture evenly over the bread slices. Add burrata cheese. Tear the burrata cheese into small pieces and distribute them evenly over the tomato basil mixture on each bruschetta. Drizzle with balsamic glaze, optional. If desired, drizzle a little balsamic glaze over the top of each bruschetta for extra flavor and presentation. Serve. Serve the burrata bruschetta immediately, while the bread is still warm and the cheese is creamy. Corsican Omelette, fluffy egg omelette filled with local cheese and herbs. Stuffed bell peppers filled with ground meat, rice, and spices. Stuffed bell peppers. Ingredients. For large bell peppers, any color, tops removed and seeds removed. 1 tablespoon olive oil. 1 onion, finely chopped. 2 cloves garlic, minced. 1 pound ground beef or turkey. 1 cup cooked rice, white or brown. 1 cup canned diced tomatoes, drained. 1 cup shredded cheese, such as cheddar or mozzarella, divided. 1 teaspoon dried oregano. 1 teaspoon dried basil. Salt and pepper, to taste. Chopped fresh parsley, for garnish, optional. Instructions. Preheat the oven. Preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, 190 degrees Celsius. Grease a baking dish large enough to hold the bell peppers upright. Prepare the bell peppers. Cut the tops off the bell peppers and remove the seeds and membranes from the inside. Rinse the peppers under cold water and pat them dry with paper towels. Sauté the onion and garlic. Heat the olive oil in a large skillet over medium heat. Add the chopped onion and minced garlic, and sauté until softened and fragrant, about 3 to 4 minutes. Cook the ground meat. Add the ground beef or turkey to the skillet with the onions and garlic. Cook, breaking up the meat with a spoon until browned and cooked through. Combine ingredients. Stir in the cooked rice, diced tomatoes, half of the shredded cheese, dried oregano, dried basil, salt, and pepper. Mix until well combined and heated through. Stuff the bell peppers. Stand the bell peppers upright in the prepared baking dish. Spoon the meat and rice mixture evenly into each pepper, pressing down gently to pack it in. Bake. Cover the baking dish with aluminum foil and bake in the preheated oven for 25 to 30 minutes, or until the peppers are tender. Add cheese and bake again. Remove the foil from the baking dish and sprinkle the remaining shredded cheese over the tops of the stuffed peppers. Return the dish to the oven and bake for an additional 5 to 10 minutes, or until the cheese is melted and bubbly. Serve. Remove the stuffed bell peppers from the oven and let them cool slightly before serving. Garnish with chopped fresh parsley, if desired, and serve hot. Corsican Omelette, fluffy egg omelette filled with local cheese and herbs. Corsican Omelette. Ingredients. 6 large eggs. A 1/4 cup grated pecorino cheese, or any hard cheese of your choice. A 1/4 cup chopped fresh herbs, such as parsley, basil, and/or thyme. A 1/4 cup diced cooked ham or pancetta, optional. A 1/4 cup diced onions. A 1/4 cup diced bell peppers, any color. 2 tablespoons olive oil. Salt and pepper, to taste. Instructions. Prepare the ingredients. Crack the eggs into a mixing bowl and beat them lightly with a fork or whisk. Grate the pecorino cheese and chop the fresh herbs. If using, dice the cooked ham or pancetta, onions, and bell peppers. Heat the olive oil. Heat the olive oil in a non-stick skillet over medium heat. Sauté the vegetables. Add the diced onions and bell peppers to the skillet. Sauté until they are softened and lightly golden, about 3 to 4 minutes. Add the ham or pancetta, optional. If using, add the diced ham or pancetta to the skillet with the onions and bell peppers. Cook for an additional 1 to 2 minutes to heat through. Pour in the eggs. Pour the beaten eggs into the skillet over the sautéed vegetables and ham. Allow the eggs to cook undisturbed for a minute or two until the edges begin to set. Add the cheese and herbs. Sprinkle the grated pecorino cheese and chopped fresh herbs evenly over the top of the omelette. Fold and finish cooking. Using a spatula, gently lift the edges of the omelette and fold them towards the center, allowing the uncooked eggs to flow to the bottom of the skillet. Continue to cook the omelette until the eggs are set but still slightly moist on top, about 2 to 3 minutes. Serve. Once the omelette is cooked to your liking, carefully slide it out of the skillet onto a serving plate. Fried calamari, crispy rings of squid served with aioli or marinara sauce. Fried calamari. Ingredients: 1 pound, about 450 g, clean squid tubes and tentacles. 1 cup all-purpose flour. 1 teaspoon salt. 1/2 teaspoon black pepper. 1/2 teaspoon garlic powder. 1/2 teaspoon paprika. Vegetable oil, for frying. Lemon wedges, for serving. Marinara sauce or aioli, for dipping, optional. Instructions. Prepare the squid. Rinse the squid under cold water and pat them dry with paper towels. If using whole squid, slice the tubes into rings and leave the tentacles whole. Prepare the breading. In a shallow dish, combine the all-purpose flour, salt, black pepper, garlic powder, and paprika. Mix well to combine. Coat the squid. Heat vegetable oil in a deep fryer or large, heavy-bottomed pot to 375 degrees Fahrenheit 190 degrees Celsius. Working in batches, dredge the squid pieces in the seasoned flour mixture, shaking off any excess flour. Fry the calamari. Carefully drop the coated squid into the hot oil, being careful not to overcrowd the fryer or pot. Fry for 1 to 2 minutes, or until golden brown and crispy. Drain and serve. Use a slotted spoon or spider skimmer to transfer the fried calamari to a plate lined with paper towels to drain excess oil. Repeat the process with the remaining squid batches until all are fried. Serve hot. Transfer the fried calamari to a serving platter and serve immediately while hot. Serve with lemon wedges and marinara sauce or aioli for dipping, if desired.